Hello everybody, welcome to Fresh Munch Garden channel. So today I want to talk about the diaprepy root weevil, which is a major problem to your fruit trees because not only do they feed on the foliage, but they lay their eggs which drop down into the soil, become larvae and feed on the roots, and they can even girdle your taproot of your fruit tree over time. So it's very important once you find them on your tree to start getting rid of them, and also treat the soil to make sure you're controlling the larvae that could be living in your soil and feeding on your roots. Now this applies also to other weevils like the Sri Lankan weevil and other species as well. But what I do is not only do I search the tree constantly and get rid of them, but I also spray a neem oil on the leaves, because what weevils do is they lay their eggs in the leaf and they glue the leaf together until those eggs are ready to hatch and then fall down into the soil. And for some reason my Oro Negro has got diaprepy root weevils, a little bit of an infestation. I've been finding them year over year. This season I've probably picked off 2 to 3 dozen of them already, which really does worry me a lot. And all my fruit trees in general deal with the Sri Lankan weevil, which, although it's not a terribly bad infestation, but they also feed on your roots. So what I like to do is buy neem oil. I don't buy the over-the-counter one. I ordered this one on Amazon. I'll leave a link to it, but this is 100% cold pressed from neem seed kernel, and I have been using this for a long time. I've never had an issue with it burning the leaves or anything like that. So what I did was I mixed up some water with neem oil and dish soap per instructions on the back, and I'm gonna spray the Oro Negro leaves with this stuff in a minute. Now preferably it's best to do it when it's not gonna rain, you know, so that it doesn't get washed off right away. And you do need to reapply this stuff, you know, every few days or something like that, depending on the weather. Now the neem oil, the nematodes that I ordered, these things come in an ice pack in a box. And if you're not going to use them right away, then you need to refrigerate them immediately because they are alive. Okay, these are nematodes or roundworms, and these are not just any nematodes, but these are beneficial nematodes. Okay, there's 3 species that come inside here, and you can look these up, but they are all scientifically proven to feed only on bad larvae. These are what they call beneficial nematodes, and you can order them right on Amazon. This particular pack that I bought has 5 million in there, and this can be used to, according to them, to treat approximately 300 square feet. So, and in the past I've done multiple trees with the 5 million. I've also ordered up to 25 million at one time, and treated all my trees before. But so far this season I've literally only found the diaprepy root weevils on my Oro Negro avocado tree, and this one is really near and dear to me, so I don't want to lose it. Just the idea of these guys girdling the taproot really freaks me out. So I'm going to treat it, you know, now and probably again before the year is over, and really try to give those roots a chance to get a break from the larvae that may be in the soil. You know, in the past I've mixed this with 5 gallons of water in a bucket, and mixed it. Today I'm gonna literally mix it in just 1 gallon. And you know, for some reason these nematodes really seem to be attracted to more of my not nematodes, these weevils in general seem to be more attracted to my West Indian varieties of avocados, which is kind of interesting. But so I'm gonna bust this open, try carefully not to spill any, because and these really aren't too expensive. They're relatively affordable on Amazon. The only issue is that you got to pay shipping costs, because they overnight these guys to you. So, you know, it's like $15 or so for shipping, and I think it's like $15 or $20 depending on how much of these guys you buy. So these nematodes should be like a dry powder. Having a little bit of trouble getting this thing open, but Yeah, so you want to refrigerate them right away. And if you had a microscope, you could literally look under the microscope and check to make sure that they're alive. But unfortunately, I don't have a microscope, so I just kind of have to go with the hope that they're alive. You may want to bring out a scissors. It would be much easier to open this. But you can see I opened it, and it's like, you can't really tell, but it's like a little powder in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try to get most of this stuff in here. I actually received my package earlier today. I put them in the refrigerator right away, kept them cold. I put the ice pack back in the freezer so that it can freeze. And then bringing them out here, I put them in that little bag to keep them cold. And it's normal for your ice pack to be melted by the time it gets to you, unfortunately. They warn you of that on the packaging. And so it would be really cool to be able to check under a microscope to make sure that you're actually receiving live nematodes, which I think they are. I think that they're in like a state of torpor when they're cold, and then when they warm up, they become much more active and probably can't live for too long unless they're really cold. So they could definitely make this a little bit easier to pour, this way you're not wasting it. You know, I'm getting a little bit on my hands and stuff, which is kind of gross. So you might want to wear some gloves. And in the past, I've just kind of opened this and just dunked it in a 5-gallon bucket of water. I'm almost sorry I didn't do it that way this time, because it's been a little bit harder getting it in this little 1-gallon container I got. You know, and one thing that's interesting about these diapreppy root weevils is that as soon as they see you, they drop to the ground in a defense mechanism. And it's kind of my hypothesis that, you know, that they're slowly developing non-consumptive effects or trait-mediated behavior modifications where they perceive risk when they see you. And you're almost becoming like a jumping spider or a wasp to them, which are natural predators. And, you know, because I used to be able to just walk right up to them and grab them. And now as soon as I get close to the tree and I spot one, it's like it just spots me right away and drops to the ground. Okay, so I'm gonna shake this up real good, and I mean there's quite a bit in here, and this should be a really nice treatment for this tree. I'm gonna just pour it all around. I'm actually gonna pour it pretty close to the bark because I am very worried about that taproot as well as all the other roots. But once the taproot gets girdled, you can kiss your tree goodbye. Remember, when you're looking for them, don't do it right after it rains, because likely they'll have been they've fallen off to the ground. And also with weevils in general, look for the leaves that are glued together, and pick that leaf, cut it, throw it in the garbage, tie it up, or better yet, just burn it or destroy it somehow. All right, let's spray this tree. This neem oil is going to make it very difficult for not only the weevils to chew on the leaves, but more importantly to lay their eggs in the trees, in the leaves. So, you know, root weevils do about $70 million of damage annually in Florida alone. And when these diapreppy root weevils, when they hatch, they develop into adults, which emerge. One female can have thousands of eggs, and they may disperse a few hundred meters, but they really don't go that far. So, you know, when they start popping up on your fruit trees, you pretty much have a good idea that you have a localized problem. They were brought to Florida in the 70s from, they believe, Puerto Rico, in a nursery plant. And so, you know, this is a Caribbean species, and they do quite a multi-million dollars worth of damage a year. So I recommend beneficial nematodes, and I also recommend neem oil to stop them from stop the life cycle from laying eggs in your leaves. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Feel free to leave any questions you have in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, subscribe and follow my content. Thank you. Take care.